There is a level of discipline that most people will never touch, not because it is beyond human ability, but because it demands a psychological price that almost no one is willing to pay. It is the point where comfort ends and a different life begins. A life where your mind becomes the battlefield, your habits become weapons, and your weaknesses turn into enemies you must confront every single day. Most people think discipline is waking up early, forcing yourself to work, or following a strict routine. But these are just shadows. They are surface-level attempts compared to the depth of what true discipline really is. Real discipline starts the moment your excuses sound reasonable, when your fatigue feels justified, when you believe you've done enough and deserve a break. That is the precise moment where 99% of people fall away. They negotiate with their minds, they listen to their feelings, and they retreat from the discomfort. But the remaining 1% live by different rules. They act even when they don't want to. They push even when everything inside them says stop. They keep going even when the reward is far away and invisible. And because of that, they unlock a version of themselves most people never meet. Ancient warrior cultures understood this deeply. Samurai, Spartan soldiers, and shinobi did not train for motivation. They trained for survival. Their discipline was forged through hardship, isolation, repetition, and responsibility. They believed that a warrior who could not control himself had no right to hold a sword. A warrior who could not discipline his mind could not protect anything, not his family, not his village, not his honor. Today, the world is softer. Life is filled with convenience, entertainment, and endless escape. People have more comfort than ever before, and yet they are collapsing mentally faster than any generation before. Strength is not built when everything is easy. Clarity does not come from noise. Mastery does not come from shortcuts. You cannot build discipline in a life designed to avoid every discomfort. The scariest level of discipline begins when you stop relying on motivation. Because motivation comes and goes, it burns bright, then fades. But discipline, real discipline, is not an emotion. It is a decision repeated until it becomes identity. This level of discipline forces you to confront a frightening truth. You are capable of far more than the story you tell yourself. Your limits are not real, they are psychological. Your mind quits long before your body does. Your potential is much bigger than your habits reflect. And once you realize this, you can no longer lie to yourself. To reach this level, you have to push past the point where your mind says, stop. Humans quit mentally long before they quit physically. The moment you feel like quitting is usually the moment you are only 40% done. Your mind is trying to protect you from discomfort, not danger. That is why ancient warriors practiced rituals like cold exposure, fasting, silence training, and mental endurance tasks, not as punishment, but as tools to sharpen the mind. When you sit in cold water, your mind screams. When you fast, your instincts beg. When you meditate in silence, your thoughts attack you. But if you endure long enough, something breaks, and then something stronger forms. A door opens to a state of presence and power that most people never experience. That is the discipline that breaks 99% of people, the discipline to stay when your mind wants to flee, to continue when everything inside you begs for comfort, to act without needing permission from your emotions. Everything changes when you realize that this level of discipline becomes a kind of freedom. Anyone can wish for success. Anyone can daydream about transformation. But the world does not reward wishes. It rewards those who are willing to endure what others avoid. And this is where the 99% break. They treat discipline like a temporary sprint rather than a lifelong foundation. They believe it is about moments rather than identity. Their discipline collapses the moment life gets chaotic. They stop when they are stressed, tired, or unmotivated. They wait to feel better. But the 1% operates on a different system. They eliminate all escape routes. They remove the option of quitting. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, is it required? This level of accountability terrifies people because it forces them to confront their own excuses. The modern mind has been trained to seek comfort first and effort last. It looks for hacks, shortcuts, and fast results. But shortcuts come with a hidden price. They destroy the very muscle you need to succeed. Your ability to endure. Warriors understand that the mind becomes what you repeatedly do. If you choose ease every day, your mind becomes weak. If you choose discomfort every day, your mind becomes powerful. Most people underestimate how much small decisions shape identity. Missing one workout feels harmless. Wasting 1 hour scrolling feels harmless. Delaying one task feels harmless. But these decisions compound silently, shaping a life built on avoidance. The 1%, however, understand that every action is a vote for their future self. They repeat the basics long after others get bored, because repetition is the birthplace of mastery. They detach from emotion because feelings cannot be trusted. They take absolute ownership of everything. No blaming, no excuses, no stories. If they fail, they own it. If they fall behind, they own it. If they break a promise to themselves, they own it. This level of honesty with oneself is rare because it is painful. But without it, discipline collapses like a house built on sand. The 99% break because their discipline is built on emotion. It lasts until stress hits, until life gets difficult, until they feel overwhelmed. But the 1% are different. Their discipline works even on their worst days. They have built a foundation so strong that even at 40% capacity, they outperform most people at 100%. That is the difference between discipline built on motivation and discipline built on identity. True discipline is engineered. It is designed. The most unbreakable people in history did not rely on willpower. They relied on structure. They built environments where their best behaviors were automatic. They created rituals that removed hesitation. They lived by codes that made weakness impossible. Their lives were crafted around growth, not comfort. Their habits were aligned with their mission, not their mood. This transformation follows 4 invisible pillars. The first is physical mastery. Your body is the first battlefield. Daily training forces you to confront resistance and fatigue. It teaches you to do the work even when your energy is low. It teaches you endurance and fortitude. The second pillar is mental stillness. Silence is the greatest weapon of the disciplined. The world is loud, overwhelming, chaotic. Warriors train their minds through meditation, breathwork, and silence rituals. Stillness teaches you that your thoughts are not commands, they are noise. It teaches you to stay calm under pressure, to make decisions without panic, and to detach from impulse. The third pillar is repetition. Mastery is not built through intensity, it is built through consistent repetition. When you repeat an action long enough, it becomes who you are. Identity is stronger than motivation. Once something becomes identity, it becomes effortless. The final pillar is purpose. Without purpose, discipline feels like punishment. With purpose, it becomes devotion. Purpose gives your suffering a direction. Warriors throughout history were fueled by missions greater than themselves. Honor, duty, protection, legacy. Purpose gives discipline a heartbeat. When these 4 pillars combine, something powerful happens. Hesitation disappears. You no longer question what you must do. You no longer negotiate with your excuses. You no longer wonder whether you are on the right path. You move with clarity and intensity. You stop starting over. You stop slipping back into the person you used to be. This is the system that turns ordinary people into warriors. Everything changes the moment you decide the weaker version of you no longer has permission to exist. That is the real turning point. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop outsourcing your willpower to your emotions. You stop letting comfort dictate your direction. Instead, you build yourself deliberately, habit by habit, day by day, repetition by repetition. The 1% are not naturally gifted. They are simply willing to do what others refuse. They wake up when they don't want to. They train when they are exhausted. They work when they feel uninspired. They remain disciplined when life gets heavy. They stay on the path when others wander. And slowly, piece by piece, they build a new identity, one that cannot be broken. When you reach this stage, people around you will not understand. They will call you extreme, obsessive, rigid, or unrealistic. But those comments are not reflections of your intensity. They are reflections of their limits. People who fear discipline mock those who practice it. People who depend on comfort attack those who escape it. The final transformation into the 1% happens slowly, then suddenly. You begin to prefer discomfort because it makes you sharp. You begin to reject distractions because they feel like poison. You begin to value silence, discipline, clarity, and effort more than dopamine, entertainment, or praise. You start behaving as the future version of yourself, not the current one. You detach from your old identity like a snake shedding its skin. Eventually, you cross a line you cannot uncross. You realize you can never go back to the person you were. Comfort no longer satisfies you. Weakness no longer feels like an option. You have discovered the truth that most people will never learn. The system of discipline that breaks 99% of people is the very system that builds unstoppable warriors. You have become unbreakable. There is a moment in every warrior's path where discipline is no longer tested by exhaustion, by weather, by pain, or by the weight of daily effort. Those tests are easy compared to the final one. The final test arrives quietly, without warning, without mercy. It comes disguised as doubt, as meaninglessness, as silence. Weeks after Kaito's transformation, after his vow, after the mountain training that reshaped his identity from the inside out, something unexpected happened. He didn't break, he slipped. And sometimes a slip is far more dangerous than a collapse, because it hides, it whispers, it convinces you that everything is still fine, even as you drift away from who you became. It happened on a grey morning when the sky held no color. Kaito woke before dawn, as usual, but for the first time since his vow, he hesitated. Not because he was tired, not because he was sore, but because something inside him felt empty. He couldn't explain it. There was no fire, no clarity, no drive, just a hollow stillness that made his movements sluggish and unfocused. He trained anyway, but his breath was uneven, his strikes lacked intention, his mind wandered like smoke through a quiet room. There was no presence, no anchor, no spirit. The next morning felt worse. His routine felt distant, like the actions belonged to someone else. He completed everything, but it felt mechanical. No awareness, no depth, no meaning. By the third day, a dangerous voice crept into his mind. "You're tired. Maybe take a day off. You've earned it." And that was the moment he realized he was in danger, not from laziness, but from detachment. He was losing not discipline, but connection. So he returned to the mountain temple. When he entered the courtyard, Ryoshin was sweeping fallen leaves with the same calm rhythm as always. The monk looked at him once, and without a word, knew why he had come. Kaito sat beside him on the wooden steps. For a long time, neither of them spoke. The wind carried the soft scrape of the broom. A crow landed on the edge of the roof and watched him with black, unblinking eyes. Finally, Kaito broke the silence. "Master, something is happening to me. I haven't broken my discipline, but I feel like I'm losing myself. I feel empty." Ryoshin rested the broom against the wall and lowered himself to sit beside Kaito. "What you are experiencing," he said softly, "is the hardest stage of discipline. Not resistance, not pain, but emptiness." Kaito frowned. "I don't understand." Ryoshin folded his hands, eyes focused on the distant mountains. "There are 3 levels of discipline. The first is the discipline of effort. You force yourself into action. This is where most people quit. The second is the discipline of identity. You become the person who does the work without negotiation. You have reached this." Kaito nodded. "But the third level," Ryoshin continued, "is the discipline of meaninglessness. When the fire fades, when emotion dies, when discipline feels neither noble nor powerful, but dull and empty, when your actions feel like shadows rather than life." Kaito listened, eyes fixed on the ground. "This stage breaks the strongest warriors," Ryoshin said, "because it is not the body being tested, nor the mind, it is the soul." The wind brushed through the courtyard like a whisper from another world. Ryoshin placed a hand on Kaito's shoulder. "You believe discipline must feel alive. But true discipline continues even when life feels absent. Warriors do not survive because of passion. They survive because they do not require passion to remain warriors." Something tightened in Kaito's chest. The monk stood and motioned for him to follow. They walked to the moss-covered stone path that had been walked for 7 centuries. Ryoshin pointed at it. "Do you think every monk felt inspired every morning for 700 years?" Kaito knew the answer. "No," Ryoshin said. "This path was not built by motivation. It was built by devotion. It was maintained by those who understood this truth. When meaning disappears, discipline becomes sacred." Those words hit Kaito harder than anything he had heard before. "You are entering the silent stage," Ryoshin continued. "The stage where discipline becomes faith. Faith in who you are becoming, even when you cannot feel it. Faith in your vow, even when your senses grow numb. faith in your path, even when the ground beneath feels hollow. Kaito felt something shift inside him, a spark, fragile but real. Ryoshin turned to him fully. Your emptiness is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that your old self has completely died. You are living without familiar emotions, without familiar identities. The silence you feel is the echo of your rebirth. Kaito closed his eyes as those words settled. Ryoshin's voice softened. Continue your practice, but this time do it for no reason, no emotion, no reward, no meaning. Do it simply because it is who you are, a warrior who moves even when the mind is still, even when the heart is quiet. Kaito breathed out slowly, a long, steady exhale, and the emptiness within him shifted, not filled but understood. He bowed deeply to the monk. The walk back down the mountain felt different, lighter somehow, not because the emptiness was gone, but because he no longer feared it. It was part of the path, a gate every disciplined person must walk through. The next morning, Kaito rose before the sun. The emptiness was still there, but now he didn't resist it. He didn't question it. He simply moved, slow, calm, focused, present. Each breath was a vow, each step an anchor, each movement a quiet affirmation of identity. He was no longer motivated, inspired, or emotionally charged, but he was unbreakable, because now he understood the truth Ryoshin had tried to teach all along. The highest level of discipline is the one that survives in the dark, not the discipline fueled by excitement, not the discipline fueled by identity, but the discipline sustained by silence, the discipline that simply exists. Kaito finished his training and watched the first ray of sunlight push through the clouds. It was faint, gentle, almost invisible, but it was enough. He smiled, not because the emptiness had vanished, but because he had learned to walk with it. He was no longer a man forcing discipline, no longer a man becoming disciplined. He was discipline itself. If this message resonated with you, if you felt something awaken, something calm, something powerful, then you belong here. Join the Zen warrior. Subscribe, breathe, and walk this path with me, not loudly, not aggressively, but with quiet, unshakable strength. Become the warrior who cannot be broken. Thank you for watching this video.